Hey guys, Miss Alicia, spiritual wellness mindset coach. I help people who struggle with forgiveness and the negative impact of starting over. I am not a doctor. I am a life coach. I want to let you know that when I give you these messages, the Lord has given them to me. So it's a rhema word, a right now word, not for all of you, but for many of you. God knows who's going to hear these messages, and it's going to touch you in the right way. Okay? Today's message is, it don't work up here. Coming from Luke chapter 16, verse 19 through 31. Before I get started, I have 3 definitions. The first definition is the word rich. Rich is when you got a lot of money. You're wealthy. You're plentiful. You're bountiful. You're comfortable. You're sitting in a good state of mind. The next word is torment. Torment means severe mental or physical suffering. And lastly, the word crumb. Crumb is a fragment of bread, a little bit, a morsel. Some, not much, a tiny bit. Have you ever come out of a restaurant? You had your leftovers in your little doggy bag, and you've already thought about, I'm going to save this for later, or I'm going to take this to work tomorrow, take it to school tomorrow. You have plans for it. It's not as much as when you had it in the restaurant, but it's some leftovers. It's a little bit. It's a morsel. You understand? But it's enough. And you pass by someone who has a sign up that's saying that they're hungry. You try to act like you don't really see it. But the Lord speaking to you and says, give it to them. And then you thinking to yourself, well, it's just a little bit. But it was enough for you to take home, to think about. And you turn around and you say, well, would you like to have this? Yeah, thank you. And you kind of contemplating like, I don't know what they're going to do with that. But it's more than enough for them. However you thought it was for them, it's more than enough. And they're grateful, okay? Or have you ever known someone to be up? They had money, they had wealth, they were doing well. And then one time they hit rock bottom. But they still had that mindset to think that they could treat people a certain way. And then finally they realized, hey, I guess I ain't got the clout like I used to. You know, people ain't really taking me serious no more. Nothing that I have to offer matters to the people that I'm trying to get to do things for me. You ever known somebody like that? Get a reality check? Today, I'm talking about a rich man and Lazarus. Lazarus was a beggar, and he laid down on the ground by this rich man's palace every day, just hoping that the rich man's servants would drop him off the crumbs, the leftovers. But the rich man made sure that his servants took it straight to the trash. Just rude, disrespectful. Says that the rich man would be looking out the window, looking down at him while he's in his robe of beautiful colors. You understand? You know, living life, eating well, but still thinking enough to say, don't give him nothing. It says that Lazarus had sores on him and that the dogs would lick his sores. You know, when you're not able to take care of yourself, your skin can break up. You know, you're not able to moisturize. So it's letting you know that Lazarus was in a bad state. He's hungry, not well, and his skin's breaking out. And even the dogs is licking on him. It says that Lazarus passed away and that he went on to the other side to be with Abraham. And if you know anything about Abraham, Abraham was a servant of God. So Abraham went to heaven. So it's letting you know that Lazarus went to heaven. And it says not so after, the rich man passed away. And he went to Hades, which is like a holding place until you actually go all the way into, I guess, hell. So it says that the rich man saw Abraham afar off, and Lazarus was near him. And he said, Father Abraham, tell him, he don't even have the respect to give the rich man Lazarus a name. Tell him to dip his hand in the water, dip his finger in there, and have him come over here and touch my tongue and cool it off. I'm in agony over here. And Abraham told him, oh no, he's not going to do that. He can't do that. You know, he said, remember, when you was on earth, you lived good. You lived the way you wanted to live. Now, Lazarus has that life. And now you have that miserable agony of a life. He says, even if we were to do that, God has it fixed. There's a chasm. There's a gulf between us and you. We can't come over there, and you can't come over here. And he said, well, okay, Father Abraham, tell him to go back down to earth, to my daddy's house. I got 5 brothers there. Tell him to warn them to do right, because I don't want them to end up here where I'm at. Father Abraham told him, he said, listen, he said, your brothers, they got Moses down there. They got the prophets down there. And so if they don't listen to them, they would end up just like you. And he said, but if you send him, they'll believe it. They'll believe it. He said, listen, he said, what makes you think that they are going to believe a dead man coming back? He said, if they don't listen to the prophets or to Moses, their fate will be your fate. What am I saying to you guys, huh? What is this message about? Miss Alicia, why are you telling us this story? Well, the Lord wanted me to give you this story. He's saying, if you have the mentality of the rich man, you're living well, you have the finer things in life, you got the best food, but you find yourself looking down on people. They bother you. They irritate you. You can't stand walking by them, seeing them. You just wish they would just disappear. God is saying to repent. Ask God for forgiveness. He's saying, it ain't your goodness that you got it like that. And if you ain't careful, I'm going to flip the script. And if you are Lazarus, and you say, you know, I feel like Lazarus many days. There's so much going on in my life, and I feel low. And I feel like the eyes is down on me, like I'll never get out of this situation. And I feel like I just don't want to be here no more. Ask God to forgive you. Instead, say, Lord, you know the situation that I'm in. Lord, I ask that you lift me up from this state. You understand? Put all your faith and your trust in God. Believe with all your heart. And you'll be surprised. In due time, if it's God's will, and in due time, He can change your situation. And you'll no longer be at the bottom, but at the top. I've known plenty of people who have been at the bottom. And now they're doing well. They kept their faith, okay? There was a time when I felt down there too. I was doing well before, but when I went through the depression, the anxiety, the panic attacks, the PTSD, because of the issues, the things that happened on my career job, I felt low. But one thing, even though I was down there, I always looked up. And I always believed that the Lord would restore me, deliver me. So you're looking at a Lazarus. You understand? I want you to think about that today. The word rich, torment, crumb. Look up. I'll talk to you soon, okay? Think about it. Bye.